Hey Toy fans, Rob here. I've been straightening up my office and I thought I'd go ahead and share it with you guys. Consider this a 2019 room tour, if you will. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, some of the stuff's going to be familiar, but if you don't, it's all brand new. So check it out. Alright, so here as we start off, just a few things really quick over on my desk. You can see I've got this Dorbs Beast and the X-Men Blackbird jet. Thought that was pretty cool, had to have it. Found it on clearance one day at Walmart. And on the right side here, I've got the Mega Construx Star Trek Next Generation minifigures and Star Trek The Original Series minifigures. I'm not really sure what to do with those yet, but I'm keeping them in package until I decide what I want to do. And then I've got the UK exclusive Marvel Legends Loki repackaged figure that I got from a dear friend a number of years ago. And then I just have some assorted mini-mates over here that I haven't really stored away, but some of the ones I just kind of really like the design of, especially that Phoenix, that Back in Time Phoenix or the Iron Spider mini-mate. But moving on from there, you can see I have over here some Beast Wars figures displayed on the top of this shelf. I want to get more of these guys. I used to have a bunch of these as a kid, but between modern redos and classic figures I picked up at convention, this is where my collection more or less sits now for Beast Wars. Got the X-Men Funko Mystery Minis to the right. Wish they would have done a Wave 2. Not sure why they didn't. And then coming down, we've got some Ghostbusters stuff going on here. Mini-mates off to the right for the classic version and the 2016 version of the team. Got a couple of additional movie characters up there at the top. This Playmobil Ecto 1 is amazing. I love that it has the lights and sound straight from the movie. And as we go through my collection here, you're going to see some assorted 90s McDonald's Marvel toys when I think McDonald's toys were at their peak. And then we've got the Mega Construx, formerly Mega Bloks, 80s, 90s Ninja Turtles figures. We've got the Party Wagon, which is one of my favorite building sets ever. And then, of course, the Krang robot there. You guys may remember I did reviews of these a while back. And then in the corner, just got a nice Spider-Man Raphael thing going on. Just some DVDs and Blu-rays down here below as we come up to the top. We've got the Beast Funko Pop. My brother gave that to me for my birthday. I love that he's Beast and his number is 21. Fits with my channel, I think. And then we have the first major shelf. There's going to be some changes for sure from last year here. We got some WWE figures here at the top. A bunch of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash's because I'm just weirdly obsessed with that tag team. Of course, got some Ghost Rider love here on the left, including a figure signed by Gary Frederick and a car signed by Gary Frederick, the creator of Ghost Rider. So come along the bottom, we've got some Robot Heroes, Beast Wars, and Transformers Classic characters. Usagi Yojimbo. And then the only two DC icons I ever picked up, and just some of various other things. As you can see there, some more McDonald's Marvel toys as well. Coming down, we've got the first of my X-Men displays, and one of my oldest. On the left here, we've got the kind of sort of giant size / 80s era team. It's basically 70s and 80s with the figures we've got there. And then the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure Apocalypse in the background. Towards the center, we've got X-Force, both classic and modern members. There we go. And then to the right, we've got the Utopia era X-Men. And then behind them is the Toy Biz Sentinel Build-A-Figure. Coming down, on the left, there is X-Men Evolution. I'm a big fan of this cartoon. I know it wasn't for everybody, but it hit me at the right time. I was actually in high school as it aired. So one of these days I plan to get more of those figures, but I just don't see them as often as I used to at convention. Got my Juggernaut Collection. Just recently added the Colossus and Juggernaut 2-pack figure. Sorry about the camera shake there. And then to the right, just some assorted Marvel Select figures. Really like that Hulkbuster. Fits in perfectly with Marvel Legends. If you guys can still get your hands on it, I highly recommend it. Coming down, we've got a classic Avengers shelf. You can see here, I've got kind of the founding members towards the bottom. I know Cap wasn't there right at the beginning, but he still kind of counts. And then as we go back, my goal here is to put in members that were all, pre-New Avengers era members. So everything from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I just think when I think of Avengers, that's still kind of the crew that I really think of. Even though I've read the newer stuff and really like it. Down below, we've got Fantastic Four related characters. And then you'll see I've also got assorted famous comic book cars. So I kind of like filling out that collection from time to time when I find them while I'm out toy hunting. Down here, you'll see we've got 3 multiple man figures and Abomination. These guys are all waiting for another display that who knows when I'll put it together, but especially when Havoc and Polaris come out later this year, I want to actually build a proper 90s X Factor display. In between here, there is the Mega Constructs transporter set from Star Trek the Original Series. It's filled out with Mini-Mate figures, actually, because they scale well with it. Really glad that that kind of worked out that way. Wish I would have gotten the bridge, but now it's just way too expensive on secondary. And then we have just an assortment of random Marvel figures. It started as a Marvel Knights display, but really just kind of became a display of figures that I like the sculpts of. So you'll see everything here from X-Men to, well, Marvel Knights to Avengers to just about any sort of era, really. Coming down, I've got Logan through the years. You guys may have noticed on Instagram, I did have a few additional figures in here, including X-Force Wolverine, and the Legendary Riders, or the Hasbro version of the Legendary Riders Wolverine. Those have since been moved back to their proper displays on my shelves, but really like that Hasbro's just knocking out all those different incarnations of Wolverine. To the left, we've got another Mega Construct Star Trek set with Mini-Mates on it, and just a few other Playmates Interspace things here. Down at the bottom is that Universal Studios Terminator doll that just disintegrated on me when I first opened him. Coming up to the other side, we've got Batman 66 figures. They look great in package, but they're Mattel figures, so they break pretty easily, so I'm keeping them in the package. Serpent Society, still haven't picked up Rock Python yet. He's definitely on my list. I do have a Madam Hydra or a Viper, but she's just not out at the moment. And then we come down. This is one of my favorite X-Men shelves. Inspired, I suppose, by the intro of the 90s cartoon. We have the villains and the heroes clashing. I know the sides are reversed, but you can see on the left all these famous X-Men villains. And then we've got Gladiator, who's, you know, kind of a neutral, chaotic character up in the air. And then on the right, we've got Archangel, and then just all of the 90s era X-Men. So I really like how that display is coming along. Can't wait to change out Jean later this year. And then coming down, we've got Spider-Man. Let's see, this is basically, it started as Spider-Man and all of his villains. I've got a few allies placed throughout, like Prowler and Black Cat, Silver Sable, Human Torch. But it's really just a classic Spider-Man shelf. Big fan of that. And then as we come down, I have what started as a Cosmic Marvel shelf and really just kind of blended a bunch of stuff. On the left side, we've got my homage to the 90s Iron Man cartoon. A few characters lined up there. As we come across, you're going to see the Guardians and all those sorts of characters to the right. We've got Spider-Verse, everybody from Cosmic Spidey to Spider-UK, Spider-Gwen, Miles, all of those associated characters. There's where I put Guardian, and then of course the Legendary Riders Logan. Coming down on the left, just Psylocke and her brother and Uncanny X-Force Deadpool. Got the villains from the 90s Iron Man cartoon. Of course, not all of those looks are show accurate, but I'm going to keep building those guys out. And then just a couple of Lightning Collection Power Ranger figures. Thought I'd get more of those this year, but man, the X-Men Legends just keep coming, so I don't know how much that collection's going to be able to keep growing. Then at the bottom, this is my work in progress shelf. A bunch of figures I want to do something with, but I really haven't found the shelves for them yet. That Cyclops especially, I plan to use one of my two Magics and that Cyclops and the Walgreens Emma Frost as soon as I find her, and start building out that version of the Uncanny X-Men. And then off to the right here, not so much in figures, just mostly amiibo. This is just my gaming station. So, guys, thanks for checking out my collection. If you have any comments, questions, or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I love sharing this stuff with you guys. And if you have any collections you want to share, definitely let me know in the comments below. Maybe even send a link to your collections. I'd be happy to check them out. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you next time.